As evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side of the lake." They stepped into the boat, not knowing that a great storm was coming. The journey began peacefully. The disciples watched the fading sunlight while Jesus remained with them. The waters were calm, and everything seemed safe. Jesus, tired from the day, found a quiet place in the boat and rested. His disciples continued across the lake, unaware that the peaceful waters would soon become dangerous. Without warning, the sky began to change. Dark clouds gathered over the mountains, and the gentle breeze became a powerful wind. Then a furious storm swept across the lake. Waves crashed against the boat, water poured inside, and the disciples struggled desperately to keep themselves alive.
The waves are too strong! Bail the water! Grab the ropes! We're going to sink! Lord, save us!
But while the disciples were terrified, Jesus was sleeping peacefully at the back of the boat. The storm was raging around him, yet he remained completely calm.
Teacher, don't you care if we drown?
One of the disciples came to Jesus and cried out,
Teacher, don't you care if we drown?
Their fear had become greater than their faith.
Wake up! We are perishing!
Jesus stood up. He looked at the raging sea, then at the frightened disciples. He did not panic. He knew that the storm was not greater than his authority. Jesus stood and commanded the wind and the sea, "Peace, be still!" And immediately the wind stopped. The waves became calm. Suddenly, there was silence. The wind disappeared. The waves became still. The same sea that had threatened their lives now rested peacefully beneath them. The disciples could hardly understand what had happened. Moments earlier, they were certain they would die. Now they stood safely in a completely calm sea. Jesus turned toward his disciples. He saw their fear, but he also saw something deeper, their struggle to trust him when circumstances became frightening. The disciples were filled with awe. They looked at one another and asked, "Who is this? Even the wind and the sea obey him." They remembered the terror of only moments before, the roaring wind, the crashing waves, and the water filling their boat. But they also remembered the moment Jesus stood before the storm. One command from him was enough. The power of nature bowed before his authority. Morning slowly came over the lake. The darkness was fading, the storm was gone, and the disciples were beginning to understand that their faith had been tested. Fear had made them believe they were alone. But Jesus had been with them throughout the storm. Sometimes faith does not remove the storm immediately. Faith teaches us whom to trust inside it. The disciples were learning a powerful truth. When Jesus is with you, the presence of the storm does not mean the absence of God. Today, we may face storms of our own, problems we cannot control, situations that make us afraid, moments when the future seems uncertain. Sometimes our problems can feel like waves crashing over us. We may wonder how we will survive another difficult day. But the story of Jesus reminds us that we are not alone. Jesus was in the boat with his disciples before the storm, during the storm, and after the storm. His presence never changed, even when everything around them changed. Faith does not mean we will never experience difficult times. Faith means we continue walking with Jesus even when we cannot see what is ahead. When fear begins to control your heart, remember the words of Jesus. Do not be afraid. He is greater than the situation you are facing. When the storm becomes too strong for you, pray. Speak to God honestly. Bring him your fear, your questions, and your pain. He hears the cry of a trusting heart. God's peace is not always the absence of problems. Sometimes his peace is the strength he gives us while the problems are still around us. So when life becomes difficult, hold on to faith. Keep walking, keep praying, keep trusting. The God who carried you yesterday is still with you today. Remember this: storms do not last forever. The darkest night eventually gives way to morning. Keep your eyes on God, even when you cannot yet see the way forward. You may not know what tomorrow will bring, but you can know who walks beside you. Jesus is with you in every season, every struggle, and every storm. Remember the disciples in the boat. They saw a storm bigger than themselves, but they discovered that Jesus was greater than the storm. Whatever you are facing today, do not measure your situation only by its size. Remember the greatness of the God you serve. Nothing is too difficult for him. Trust him when you understand. Trust him when you do not understand. Trust him when the answer comes quickly, and trust him when you must wait.
God's timing may not always be our timing, but his silence does not mean he has forgotten you. His presence remains, even when the answer seems delayed.
Keep praying, keep believing, keep bringing your heart to God. Prayer may not always change the situation immediately, but it changes our hearts and strengthens our faith. There is hope beyond the storm. There is peace beyond the fear. And there is a God who remains faithful through every season of your life. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Do not let your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. And remember, I am with you always, to the very end of the age. Jesus said, I am with you always. His promise is not only for peaceful days. His promise is for the stormy days too. Whatever storm you are facing today, place it in God's hands. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and remember, you are not alone. The storm may be strong, but your God is stronger. The waves may be loud, but his voice is greater. Keep your faith. Keep your hope. Keep walking with Jesus. Whatever storm you face, remember the words of Jesus. Peace, be still. Trust him, follow him, and never forget that he is with you.